What's up, everybody? Rhinos out there. What's up, everybody? Hope you had a great Wealth Wednesday. If you don't know what Wealth Wednesday is, it is a day where we do a random act of kindness, which typically involves some kind of a financial transaction. And that is whether you slip a $5 bill or a $1 bill or something under the lid of a baby formula bottle or into a pencil box, or you pay for someone's meal or coffee or whatever, in line or whatever. So anyway, we got to do that. And think about this. Think about if you're if there's 100 of us that did that once a week, and then in 10 months there were 1,000 of us, and then in 10 years there were 10,000 people. I think that's a great, just a great service, and I think I participate in that in every week. Sometimes it's not always on Wednesday, but anyway, we participate in Wealth Wednesday somewhere for another. Excuse me. Hey everybody, good to see you. Missy, Nancy, Frankie, Jason, Chuck Jennings, good to see you. Laura Tullis, Huntsman, Sandy Canterbury, sister, hey Sandy, good to see you. So I just I love the Wealth Wednesday. Doesn't matter whether it's $1 or whether it's $1,000, whatever. It's the fact that you're doing something for someone else, and I think that says a lot and does a lot. Can change someone's day dramatically. So, do you struggle with wanting to make a difference in your life, but don't know how? So let's boss up. So I've listened and read stuff today and researched a lot. So what I wanted to make sure of tonight is that kind of there's a blend of a couple of things. Hey Stacy and hey Jeff, thank you so much. Heather, good to see you. And I wanted to make sure that there's a good blend. So I may ramble a little bit, but there's things that had been just popping in my head all day, and I had some. Tammy, thank you for joining. Lacey, thank you for joining. But I didn't always have a pen where I could jot notes down, so I tried to get here tonight and write a few of those things down. But I was listening to a training this morning, and they were talking about becoming your own boss. And then I was listening to another, it was actually a sermon this morning, and it was all about vision, and that ties right in with the series that we've been doing on vision. So it's kind of feels like that's what I need to talk about tonight. And excuse me. So the vision that we've been talking about is adding value to others. Another way I think maybe to say that is to make a difference. We're going to focus not so much on the outside as we are inside your four walls. So if you want to make a difference in your own home, what do? Right? What do? You've got to be disciplined for one thing. HK, good to see you. You got to be disciplined. And so, we all think we're the boss of our own home, right? And depends on who you ask, who is the boss, right? Yeah, I know some of you can feel me. But so we're going to talk about being the boss of your life, being the boss of your own home. So when we are wanting to make a difference, we can do things like Wealth Wednesday. We can do things like, any kind of servant's heart topic. Do things such as the medical field. We can be first responders. We can work in missions. There's so many different things that we can do. We can teach school, and that's great because we're making a difference. But what about making a difference inside your four walls? What about making a difference inside your four walls? So let's think about that as we talked about being your own boss inside your four walls. We're going to also talk about making a difference in your four walls. So those things are going to interact. We've been talking about vision and mission and goals. And so if you have a vision of becoming your own boss so that you can make a difference in your life, does that make sense? Anybody feel me? I'm up in my feels tonight. I've been feeling it all day. I'm in my feel goods. So John Maxwell, I love John Maxwell, one of the top authorities on leadership. And I read a lot and I listen to a lot of his stuff. And he was talking about his vision. And I talked a little bit about at the turn of the year back in January, I talked about John Maxwell's, 5 things to explode your new year, and it was all about adding value. Well, let's interchange that with making a difference, adding value, making a difference. Can you add that value, and can't you make a difference in your own home, inside your 4 walls? I absolutely believe so, and you can be your own boss. Now, this is the boss of your thoughts. This is the boss of your heart, the boss of your action. So whatever you're going to do outside, you can also do that inside. So think about that. Think about that as we move forward. Lonnie Lane, good to see you. Deborah Wood, Robert, Kiki, good to see y'all. Jeremy and Amy, thank you so much. Chad Jolly, good to see you. And Kim Farmer, Leva, good to see you. Thank y'all so much for joining. So, John Maxwell was talking about a book. And the book, when he was very young in his career as a pastor, before he was even an author, a mentor of his gave him a book. And that book was called The Greatest Story Ever Told. And he was like, oh, that's really, really great. That's awesome. And when he opened it up, the book was blank. Anybody know where I'm going with this? Anybody know this story? The book was blank. And he looked at his mentor and said, what, it's blank. What is this? And she goes, open up the first page. And he turned back to the first page, and in that first page, there was a note from his mentor that said, John, your life is before you. You fill the pages with your story and make it the greatest story ever told. So we're talking about making a difference. Make your story be the story for your life that's the greatest story ever told. So, Raylinda, Wendy, good to see you. Carrie Osborne, good to see you. Thank you so much. So as we talk about the story, the greatest story ever told, think about that. For John Maxwell, the very first thing he wrote in his book, the very top line was, I want to make a difference. And so when I think about wanting to make a difference, what does that entail? So if you want to make a difference, there's your vision, right? There's your vision. Now you're on a mission. On a mission. How do you make a difference? Now you've got to take action. You've got to look inside, find the heart. You've got to find the strengths that you've been blessed or given, and then you line that up with action, and that leads you to your purpose. And so your purpose is to make a difference. So you can do that. Shauna, good to see you. Jan Bab, good to see you. And Paul Aguilar, good to see you. Thank you so much. So we're looking at doing things. Doing is an action. So you've got to go out and do something. Now, one other book that John Maxwell wrote was a book called The Laws of Teamwork. So inside your 4 walls, you are, well, most people are a team. You're a family unit. You're a team. So a lot of times, if you're wanting to make a difference and you're being the boss of your own thoughts, you can't do certain things by yourself, right? You can't do certain things by yourself. He has a law called the Law of Mount Everest in this Law of Teamwork. And that in that book it says, As the challenge escalates, the need for teamwork elevates. So you can't go, the example he uses, you can't go out and just run to the top of Mount Everest, right? One person can't do that. It typically takes a team of people to get to each level. So you got a team of people that get to base camp. You got a team of people that go further. And often, many times, it does not end well. Hey, Brenda. And so one person can't do that. And even sometimes with a team, there's challenges that just can't be overcome. But typically, you're going to go much further with some of these activities as a team. So if you've got a vision to take a certain family vacation, whether it's this summer or next summer or in 5 years, you've got to put a plan into action, and you've got to get into your own head and be the boss of your actions, right? And you've got to do things as a team unit to work to get there. So say you don't make a whole lot of money. Okay, so what do you have to do? You've got to make sacrifices, right? You make sacrifices. You sacrifice what? TV. You sacrifice going out to eat. You sacrifice that new pair of shoes, or, whatever. You make those sacrifices to get you where you want to be. See, I told you I'm in my feels. I'm all up in my feel goods tonight, and I love this, y'all. And thank you so much. And so as I listened on to John Maxwell, and as you put all these things together, everything you do matters. So you've heard the term, or you've heard people say, just show up. You've heard me say my word of the year is consistency. Well, you've got to keep showing up every day. Success, attaining that success, becoming your own boss, the boss of your family, boss of your heart, your thoughts, your actions, your mission, your vision, making that difference is to keep showing up. That is going to be determined by what you do every day. Every day. You got to keep showing up. A newbie starting out at a manufacturing plant, you don't put them on the front line. You don't take somebody who's fresh off the learning block and throw them on a forklift somewhere. Right? I wouldn't do that for me. I promise. Which I have had a forklift license. I have. So everything that you do every day matters. So we can't live in the past. We can't keep putting off. What's the old quote from Popeye? Don't do today what you can put off to tomorrow. Well, don't do that. Don't do that. We talked about stories and stuff last night. Well, the story is not always in the future. There's sometimes the story's right now. So what you do today matters. What you do every day consistently is what's going to get you to that point. So just a couple of questions to think about. So you want to be your own boss, and you have to take action to get to a certain point. Are you ruthless? Are you relentless in your pursuit? Is what you're wanting to do something that sets your soul on fire? There's a quote out there too that says, "Be relentless in your pursuit of what sets your soul on fire." So if you have a goal, if you have a vision to get here, better be a fire behind you back here. Right? Everybody nod your head yes. Look to your right and tell them yes. So that's correct. You got to have a fire. You can't sit there and look at yourself and say, man, I don't feel like it today. I'm going to tell you, you've heard me tell the story. It took me 2 years to lose 105 pounds. But without the proper drive, I could have ran through things. I could have exercised through the pain that I've had the last 2 years now, up until I had back surgery, but I didn't. I could have controlled everything that went in my mouth, but I didn't. Did I put some weight back on? Absolutely. I wasn't in control of that. Well, I was in control of that. I didn't make the right choices to control that in the right way. So think about that as you are driving there and you're moving up that path. Are you relentless in your pursuit? Are you easily affected by somebody going, hey, let's go do this? Are you easily persuaded by someone criticizing you for your choices, or someone telling you, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing that? Be relentless. Don't be easily offended. Don't be easily, you got to have that rhino skin. That's why we call ourselves the Rhino Lab here where we meet. And is that we have thick skin and we charge. We have goals. We hold each other accountable, and we move forward. So, as you're thinking about your vision, and we tie that into our story, for the past week and a half, 2 weeks, we've been all about story and vision and mission. So as we tie that all together, remember, if you want to make a difference out in the world, great. But inside your home, you want to be your own boss, you want to make a difference inside your four walls, take control of those thoughts. Take control of your actions. Be consistent and show up every day. And I guarantee you, just showing up is going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference. Now, I know I've gone on long tonight, and I'm sorry, but thank you so much. So many of you joined me, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate the feedback, and I love that so much. I love y'all so much. Thank you for joining me. If you found value, please always give me a hashtag value. That's really important. That gives me feedback. Also, if there's a topic that you want us to talk about, or you feel like others might want to hear, throw it my way. Send me a message. Give me a comment here. Also, feel free. One of the biggest compliments is when we share by word of mouth something that's good. Please feel free to share this. I really appreciate that. Thank you again for joining me. We'll be back tomorrow night for more goodness. More goodness. Got some good things on my heart for tomorrow night, and excited. In the month of September, y'all, it's gonna be fire. Gonna be fire. I'm telling you. I got the feels. So I'm loving it. Thank you for joining me on my journey. It's time for me to rhino up. Going to be Chucktastic. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.